So, I've just decided now, for my third video on this channel, I'm going to do an MCU Marvel character tier list. Let me rename these real quick. It doesn't look like there's a lot of characters here, to be honest, but should be all of them, right? Obviously, this is MCU, not actual Marvel characters, from the comics, so it's going to be different. There's a lot more characters in the comics that, I'd like to put here. X-Men, Fantastic Four. But this is just MCU, so S-A-V-C-D, and then need an F, so make it this blue, right? I don't know. No, I messed up. What color was C? Yellow? I don't know. Okay. Cool. Okay, Marvel MCU characters. F. I did that completely wrong. S green, isn't it? No, because D's green. F's black. Nope. What color is F? Yeah, I'm looking for. See the Pokemon one again, the one I just did. Yeah, same thing. Okay, MCU characters. It's going to be completely different to Marvel Comics because there's so many characters that I would want to put in that. From the X-Men to the Fantastic Four, which I'll come into the MCU pretty soon. I think I'm going to do a different tier list, actually. I don't know. These are all the movies. Actually, ranking the movies is actually going to be... I'm going to do movies. I'm going to do all 25 Marvel movies. Let's do that. Because a lot of them I watched in cinema, so this should work out pretty good. Because obviously with characters, there's a lot missing that I'd want to put in there. From the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. Because I grew up with Marvel just as much as I did with Smash and Nintendo and Pokemon and Zelda and Dragon Quest and all of that. So, let's do the Marvel movies instead. I love the MCU. Obviously, the same year that Smash Ultimate came out. Actually, it was the end of 2018, but same kind of time. Avengers Endgame came out, and it was just all like an ending to me. At the end of the 2010s, I was 16 at the time. It was like 3 years ago. Pretty much, it's 2021 now, so 2.5 years ago. I'm now 18, and I'm about to be 19 in a few months, which is crazy. But yeah, here we go. MCU movies tier list. A lot of these I watched in the cinema. From the very first Avengers, watched these in the cinema. So let's start with Iron Man, the very first one. Watched this when it came out. It's just great, it's Iron Man. It started the MCU off perfectly. Did it so well, Iron Man, around the same time that all the other Marvel movies were coming out. X-Men. Actually, no, a few years after that. But X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man. They were doing all of that, and I watched all of them at the same time because I grew up, with Marvel. So I watched those, and then this was the start of the MCU, and my dream was for all of these Marvel characters to come together with the very first Avengers, and even more so in Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. They really did all come together, including my favorite, Spider-Man. And yeah, it just worked out really well in the end, I guess. The MCU worked out perfectly. Got Doctor Strange in there, all these characters, Black Panther, Spider-Man, of course. All these characters that I wish would come together did come together, so it was so cool. And yeah, Iron Man is maybe an A. I'll put it a B for now. Next is the Hulk. C. D. D. It's the Hulk. Obviously, they changed actors as well, so It kind of puts it down a bit. D. I'll do D. Uh, Kind of forgot the order at this point. I'm pretty sure Thor was next, and then Captain America. But I'll put Thor. I mean, I do like Thor. You know, relatable character in the MCU. Put Thor in at like B, I guess. Um, with Iron Man, both good. Next up is Captain America. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could look at the real release date, but this is just by memory. Where's Captain America? First Avenger. That is C. Um, it was good. C. Next up, I think was the Avengers. I think the Avengers came out after all of these. Or was it Iron Man 2? It was definitely Iron Man 2. Where's Iron Man 2? Because Iron Man 3 was after the Avengers, right? I'm just going to look up the order. Marvel MCU release order. Whenever I look this up, they always do it the wrong way. They do it chronological, so it's just kind of annoying. Yeah, see? Captain Marvel. I don't care about Captain Marvel. Where's the release order? Yeah, okay, so it went Iron Man 2 after Hulk. Where is Iron Man 2? Wait, this is the first Iron Man. Okay, I mixed things up a bit. This is the first Iron Man. This is Iron Man 2, which... what was Iron Man 2 about? Either way, it's going in B. It wasn't the one with the Mandarin, that was 3. Kind of forgot what 2 was about. But it was the one with the new War Machine and stuff like that, so, you know, B. And then we've got the Avengers, 100% an A. I watched this in the cinema when it came out in 2012. Almost 10 years ago now. It's 2021 and I'm 18 years old. So I watched this almost 10 years ago. It was so cool to see all the characters come together. Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Loki being the villain. It was just so cool. And obviously, you know, Lego Marvel Avengers took place during this. Yeah. So, yeah. Avengers. I watched it in cinema almost a decade ago. Well, I'm not going to say where, but East London, here. Put that there. Next up is, I have the order here, Avengers. I mean, I know it's Iron Man 3 because that's based after it. So Avengers actually came out, no it didn't. Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, and then Avengers, and then Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3, I actually really liked Iron Man 3. And I mean, it started off with, you know, Blue Dabba D, which is cool, I guess. That was an intro for one of my older YouTube channels, Minecraft one, 2014. But Iron Man 3, I actually like more than the first one, but I don't think I can put it above it because, you know, it's a classic, Iron Man 1. So yeah, that's it so far. Next up is Thor the Dark World. Definitely an overhated movie. Thor the Dark World. I watched it in cinema in 2012. It was overhated. It still is overhated. People say it's the worst MCU movie. It's actually not. Thor the Dark World is actually really good. Honestly, I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do Thor the Dark World at the top. No. I can't do it at the top. But it's definitely good. It's better than the first Thor. It's good. His mum dies, stuff like that. They go back in time to it in Endgame, which was a really nice touch in the whole time travel bit. Going back to Thor the Dark World, it was good. I like Thor the Dark World, to be honest. It's overhated, 100%. Next up after that, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. People love this one. It was okay. For me, it's a C. I actually liked it less than the first Captain America. So it's a C. I don't mind Captain America as a character, don't get me wrong, especially in Infinity War. I like his hair. Had his hair for a while. But the movies, they're okay. They're not bad, of course. The MCU is great, but they're okay. Let's see. Next is Guardians of the Galaxy. I watched this one in cinema in 2014 when it came out. A. Guardians of the Galaxy is an A, 100%. Such a good movie. Uh, brought very unknown Marvel characters into the MCU, which I was not expecting at the time, but they they really joined the MCU and they're great. Star Lord, Groot, where's Groot? Groot, I am Groot. Guardians of the Galaxy is great, so that is 100% an A. Not as good. Well, actually, I can't say not as good as Avengers because it is as good as Avengers, to be honest. But the size of Avengers and the first time that it had ever happened, Avengers was amazing. But I watched both in cinema, and yeah, same tier, A tier. After Guardians is Avengers: Age of Ultron, which I'm gonna also have to put in A. Avengers: Age of Ultron was really hype for me. It was like 2014, 15, I think. I was like 11 years old. I'm now 18, but Avengers: Age of Ultron was really, really hype. I think this is it. Uh, I've mixed it all up. This is Age of Ultron. I literally have the poster on my wall. I have an Age of Ultron poster on my wall, and I thought this was the first Avengers. What am I doing? Either way, it's an A or maybe even an S. I think Age of Ultron could be an S. Guardians might be above the first Avengers. I'll put Guardians above the first Avengers, and Age of Ultron can get an S in return because it was so hype for me to see Vision join, and then Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. It's just bringing in more characters, and it was just so cool to see. Like when they showed the Vision's eyes at the end of the trailer, that just got me so hyped. So yeah, this was years ago, but Avengers: Age of Ultron is S. I saw that in cinema too. After Avengers: Age of Ultron, Ant-Man. Also saw that in cinema when it came out. I'm not going to do the wrong one this time. Ant-Man is here. Saw this in cinema when it came out. Ant-Man was good. I'll give it B because it's like it was good. Ant-Man was good. It was funny, light-hearted, and it was good. And it was hype bringing in a new character as well. Ant-Man. Above Iron Man, I think so. Not a lot of people would agree with me on that. Thor: The Dark World. This is actually kind of controversial now. No, not above Iron Man, but above Iron Man 1. I think. I think. Cool. Although Iron Man 3, people actually didn't like this either because of the Mandarin and stuff. I think Thor: The Dark World is actually better. So I'll do that. Uh, it's controversial, but I'll do that. After Ant-Man, okay, big one. Civil War. Huge. It brought Spider-Man into the MCU, and for that alone, it gets an S tier. Civil War, it brought my favourite Marvel character, and also the best version of that character. I think Tom Holland's Spider-Man is actually the best one, although the other two are also good as well. And with the whole of Spider-Man No Way Home going on now, obviously, people are thinking about all three of them being together, and honestly, I think it might happen with the whole trailer and them showing, the Sam Raimi villains and stuff like that. It's kind of likely that they will cross over. But Civil War was the original Spider-Man crossover. Finally brought Spider-Man into the MCU, as well as Black Panther, and also, brought Ant-Man in and stuff like that, and they were all together again. It was huge. Vision was there, uh, Iron Man, of course, all of them. And then, of course, my favourite, Spider-Man. So, Civil War is 100% top of S tier. Great, great movie. It was just so cool. And then Doctor Strange after that. Just because it is Doctor Strange, it gets an S tier. Like the fact that they made a film alone for Doctor Strange, although it's not as good as Guardians of the Galaxy or the Avengers, which I'm thinking maybe these should go in S. But because they gave Doctor Strange a movie, that gets an S. Just the fact that they did that alone, it's just sick. So yeah, Doctor Strange, S. Next is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I actually don't know whether I prefer Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or 2, but I'm going to leave it in A tier because it was still really good. Uh, You know, Star Lord's dad and that. It was good. Uh, I like these ones. Yeah, okay, this is looking okay so far. Next, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Here it is. I love Spider-Man, my favorite Marvel character from the start, from when I was young. Homecoming was good. Good villain. Um, I think A. Under Guardians, but above Avengers. But I have Doctor Strange in S, just because it's Doctor Strange. But this is Spider-Man's S. Yeah, S. Homecoming's S. Okay. Homecoming's S because it's Spider-Man. Next is Thor Ragnarok, and also an S. Thor Ragnarok was so cool. Thor versus Hulk, Planet Hulk stuff. Who else was in it? Doctor Strange was in it. Yeah, Thor Ragnarok and S. It was funny, the music, everything. It was a great movie. All of these had Stan Lee cameos as well. MCU in general was just perfect. But yeah, Thor Ragnarok is an S. Next is Black Panther. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. Oh yeah, I watched Thor Ragnarok in cinema. I watched Doctor Strange in cinema. I watched Spider-Man: Homecoming in cinema. Guardians Volume 2 in cinema. Avengers in cinema. Guardians of the Galaxy in cinema. Age of Ultron. All of these I watched them in cinema. Black Panther also watched it in cinema. R.I.P. to Chadwick Boseman, and it gets an A. It's a good movie. Maybe a B actually, because Ant-Man's here, and I feel like they're kind of on the same. And also, I mean, literally the first Iron Man is here. What am I doing? Wait. The first Iron Man is great. I don't know. It's kind of messed up at this point because For the Dark World is above the first Iron Man. So's Ant Man. But I guess this is the tier list. But yeah, Black Panther. It was cool to see Black Panther be brought in, just like Spider Man finally, and all these other characters. I can't wait for the Fantastic Four and the X-Men to be finally brought into the MCU. Next, they're doing Adam Warlock and Guardians, so that should be cool to see. And yeah, what am I missing? I guess I can do the rest now because it's just kind of obvious. Black Panther, then. Well, actually, no, Black Panther was before Ragnarok, and then Infinity War, which is an S. Top of S. Infinity War was so cool. It was my childhood and everything just coming together. Just all of my imagination, Marvel wise, came together and it was perfect. And the ending, everyone getting snapped, Thanos, all of that. It was huge. It was a huge cultural thing. You know what I mean? Highest grossing film of all time until Endgame came out, but I'll get to that. And Infinity War is the top of S. Next is Ant-Man and the Wasp. C. 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 Um, then I think it was Endgame. And Endgame is... The thing is, for me, I actually don't know if I prefer Infinity War or Endgame. Because Endgame was amazing, just like Infinity War was. But I don't know which one I actually prefer. Because Endgame was so cool. Fat Thor, Fat Thor was sick. And then, you know, half of the cast weren't even in Endgame. They only came at the end, including Spider-Man, who is my favourite. But Endgame was still really, really good. The whole time travel, going through the MCU, Thor going back, to the Dark World, speaking to his mom, and the fact that they split everyone up, Thor being with Rocket, even in Infinity War it was all split up. I still think Infinity War is the best, just because it is what I imagined in my childhood, just everyone together. Even the Guardians were there, and their entrance was funny as well. Spider-Man there, meeting Doctor Strange and Iron Man, Hulk, everyone. It was just so sick. Captain America's hair looking like mine at some point. But yeah, I think it is better than Endgame. Although Endgame was such a good conclusion, and when Endgame came out, it was a huge time for me. Like I was 16, I was finishing secondary school. It was 2019, so it was the end of the decade as well. Smash Ultimate had just come out, so it was like everything was coming to an end. Smash Ultimate, Avengers Endgame, secondary school. I was 16, and it was the end of the decade. It was the end of the 2010s, which was a huge decade, you know. Uh, and yeah, Endgame was great. So much hype for that movie. And then obviously 2020 happened. I was 17 throughout that, and now in 2021, I'm 18, and this is what I'm doing. But yeah, Avengers Endgame, so good. Next is Captain Marvel F. And then after that is Spider-Man Far From Home. Uh, I mean, it's Spider-Man. They did it really well. They were in London at some point, and I'm from London, so it's cool to see Spider-Man in London. Uh, I love Spider-Man. I have Homecoming in S. Actually, Far From Home was really good. It was the last movie I watched in cinemas as well, like 2 years ago, before 2020. And they did Mysterio really well. I think it's gonna have to be an A, bottom of A. Yeah, that looks about right. I think Ragnarok above Doctor Strange, 100%. Um, yeah, that looks right so far. Just gonna ignore the one at the bottom. And these two I have not watched: Black Widow, Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi's cool to see though. Uh, but yeah, I haven't watched these, so I can't rank them. I know the Mandarin is in this. Black Widow, I don't think was great. I think it would go in D. Uh, Shang-Chi, I don't know. But yeah, this is my Marvel. This is my. I'll take this down because. Oh, okay. I can't even. Uh, okay. I don't know where I'd put this. Just put it here for now. Put it here. But yeah, this is my Marvel tier list. I haven't watched the last two Marvel MCU movies, but this is it. Obviously, Infinity War and Endgame, they have to be at the top because it was just the culmination of everything. It was so sick. Civil War, also so sick, and it brought Spider-Man into the MCU. Age of Ultron brought Vision and Spider-Man. Obviously, I'm a Spider-Man fan, so you know. I also do love Iron Man though for all these characters, honestly, and I love the rest of the Marvel characters, which I can't wait. Oh yeah, bring back Daredevil. Come to think of it, I speak about the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, but Daredevil and the Punisher, the Netflix version specifically, they need to bring them in the MCU. I mean, with the third Spider-Man movie coming out, No Way Home, I really, really want Daredevil to be in that. But with the whole multiverse thing happening and Doctor Strange being in the third Spider-Man movie, it's looking like less of a possibility because I wanted Daredevil to be the kind of mentor thing after Tony Stark died in Endgame, which was still a huge thing, actually. Iron Man dying. But, you know, I really wanted the Netflix Daredevil to come back. I guess they're not going to do that. Well, they could, but I mean, they probably will at some point, but they're not going to do it in Spider Man. So I can only hope they bring back Daredevil, Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, all of those characters. And then, of course, the X Men. I cannot wait for the X Men. You know, my guys Iceman, Beast, Nightcrawler, all of them. Magneto, Wolverine. Ah, that's going to be so cool. And then, of course, the